Hey y'all, I just wanted to pop on really quickly before the recording of the podcast starts and just say that there are some timestamps in the description box below of all the different topics we talk about. So if you don't want to be watching the whole hour-long thing, I totally understand. You can just go directly to those timestamps to go to those topics. And also, please keep in mind that David and I are just freshmen and we're trying just to give you our perspective on what our experience has been so far in the dual program. Um, so again, a lot of these things can change over the next few years, but we just wanted to give you like kind of what we have so far in the dual program. So yeah, hope you all enjoy the video and let's get right into it. Alrighty, what's up everyone? Welcome to this week's video. Today I have a little podcast talking type thing specifically centered around Northwestern dual degree, but it's not just limited to that. And for that, I have my friend David over here. David, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm David. I'm a dual degree at Northwestern. And yeah,
Cool. What instrument do you play?
I play clarinet and
Awesome.
I'm majoring in chemistry as well.
Awesome. And then for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jason, also a dual at Northwestern. We're both going to be sophomores next year. But
Mm.
I play bassoon, and I'm majoring in economics in Weinberg, and I'm also minoring in Spanish. So, yeah, let's get into it. I have a list of questions on my phone that I'll be looking at.
Okay.
So, let me pull those up. So, starting off, what is the difference between dual and double major?
All right.
Uh,
Yeah, I was definitely confused about that, like going into school.
mm-hmm,
Um, but it's just like they have different requirements.
mm-hmm,
Dual degrees a little bit more demanding.
mm-hmm,
Um, you graduate in 5 years if you're, or typically 5 years if you're a dual degree, and 4 years if you're a double major.
mm-hmm.
And instead of getting 2 degrees as you would in a dual degree, um, you would get one conjoined degree
Mm-hmm.
as a double major, I
Yeah.
think. And I don't really know how, whether or not you can like choose the school you get the degree from. But the I think what Dr. Jacobs was saying was that it would be a Bienen degree, right?
Mm. Yeah, so basically, like you said, it's just different requirements. With a dual degree, you'd have to complete requirements from both schools you're in. So being in plus your other school, Weinberg, McCormick, CESP, Medill. Do we have a dual with School of Com? Who knows? Um, but basically, you'd have to do requirements for both the schools, and there are some requirements that carry over from being into Weinberg.
Yep.
For example, your distros, you don't have to take six additional distros from being in, like in addition to the 12 from Weinberg.
Right.
Um, with the double major, yes, you only get the degree from one school, but both your majors will be on it, and you do get to choose which school.
Oh,
You
okay.
just have to you complete requirements for graduation for that school, and then only the major requirements for your other major.
I see.
So it is possible to do the double major through Weinberg. It's just the same amount of requirements as the dual degree.
Right.
So usually people will get the double from being in, so they have to do less.
Right.
So,
That's fair.
no, I think that's really interesting too, because I didn't know that like dual degree was like not a common offer at a lot of
Yeah.
schools. Like the dual versus double distinction, like most schools just have a double major.
Right.
I think it's really interesting that we offer a dual.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, not a lot. I don't know a lot of other schools that do that. Um, I'm trying to think of any if there are.
Like unless you're like a joint program like Juilliard NEC. Wait,
Yeah.
Columbia Juilliard, Harvard NEC.
Right.
Like one of those programs, then I think it's like not very common.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Um,
really quickly, let's also talk about how it's not common for a lot of students to be dual degree students because it is very difficult.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's a factor as
we
well.
were just talking about this literally like 10 minutes ago about how like probably in each graduating class in Benin, there's gonna be less than 20 people that graduate as a dual degree because it's that difficult.
Right.
You'll have a lot of students apply in as a dual degree, but then drop at some point along the timeline just because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and we both know a couple of people who are dropping out this year. I mean, given that there's a pandemic going on and everything, maybe it's understandable, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely very demanding, and there's a lot to consider when considering a dual degree.
hmm
Um,
Yeah. So David, how was your experience freshman year with the dual?
that's a loaded question. Man, I can honestly say I had a lot of fun because, yeah, it's very time consuming and demanding, but I feel like I was able to kind of figure out myself more and what I like to do. Um, because really, like, I was saying this before, but like, not many kids our age, like, know exactly what they're gonna do, you
hmm
know? And, um, yeah, so I went through this year, and yes, it was very difficult, but I don't think I would have done anything differently. I
hmm
think I really needed that experience, because throughout high school, like music to me was more of like an extracurricular, and um, like other than like music theory, like I didn't take like academic classes necessarily about music, and
hmm
it was it was eye-opening to see like just like how many music classes I could take
hmm
and have it really like enrich my my music like passions and everything.
hmm
Um, but yeah, really like it was just a really positive experience, I would think. Like
Yeah, that's
other
awesome.
than like the stress and but
All those late nights.
yeah, the late
Freaking, oh
nights.
my gosh, 9 a.m. music theory. We both roll in dead every morning.
Yeah. Um, should we talk about the final oral skills project? Oh man. I was like, oh, there's no way Jason slept in. He hasn't done that yet.
No. Okay, yeah, we can talk about it really fast. Fall quarter.
Yeah.
So both of us were in the same section of oral skills and music theory. So we had 9 a.m. music theory Monday, Wednesday, Friday, followed by 10 a.m. oral skills. And we had a final project in fall quarter, which is basically like we had to take a pop song or like just a song in general and like make a transcription of it and then like basically like kind of just like think about if you make it like an a cappella group without like
Yeah.
a beatboxer, and that's basically what we did. So we've been working on this project for like a couple weeks, and then come presentation day, like the last day of class, I I think I swear I had something Thursday night, but
Oh, for sure. You had
I think
so much going on that
I
week.
probably had studio class and then like had work or something, and
Yeah.
then my roommate wasn't sleeping in our room that night because his mom had come in for the concert, so he was in a hotel. So I was just by myself in the room, and usually my roommate and I, because we were all in the same class, we're all in that same 9 a.m. class. Usually like we wake up together and like go to class together, but since he wasn't there, this is also the again last day of class of fall quarter. I woke up at like 10, 10:15 or something.
Yeah.
Um,
It's something like
and
that.
I was no, but it sucks too because I even woke up at 8:30, or like I woke up at 8 and then 8:30 and then again at 10. But like the first time I woke up at 8, I saw Dr. P had sent us an email about like her getting bagels and stuff for us. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm gonna go to class. But then I
Yeah.
happened to not go to class, and then I showed up for oral skills, 30 minutes late because again I'd slept in, and like because all the groups had already presented. Presentations were like 2 to 3 minutes max.
Yeah.
So all the groups had already gone. They're just waiting for me. I show up at Beanin, and Stefan, our oral skills teacher, is outside the classroom sitting there.
Oh
And
man.
he saw me and he was like,
Man,
I
that was
was like,
so funny.
oh my gosh, I felt so bad.
Oh no, like everyone was just chilling. We were just like talking, like pretty
Oh
much
my
until
gosh,
we
that was
got there.
terrible. Oh my
It was really
goodness.
funny. It was really funny.
And we had
Um,
like, I don't know, I was excited for this project too, because like we worked hard on it and it was good.
we
I was
did.
so excited about it.
We worked a good bit on it. And that group was pretty unstoppable
It
too.
was good, man. Vanu out there, if you're watching this, home dog.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Um,
all right. Well, speaking of our 9-10 a.m., we can talk about like our daily schedule.
sure, sure.
As a dual, your schedule per quarter, assuming you take the full bean and load, is gonna be like what music theory, oral, possibly keyboard.
Yeah,
And then obviously this depends on your instrument, but like studio class, private lessons, chamber if you want to. So that's already basically 6 classes there.
yeah.
Not to mention ensembles, because you have to play in large
Correct.
ensembles. Outside of that, you're likely to take 1 to 3 Weinberg classes,
Yeah,
or 1 to 3 other non-music classes, non-beaning classes.
right.
Typically, what they tell you is dual students will take 2 non-music classes.
Correct, yeah.
So if you're in Weinberg, what that looks like is probably your first year seminar and then either a distro or like a major requirement. That one's up
Right.
to you. For other schools, I can't talk about that because I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Um, but your daily schedule, it's pretty rough. It's pretty
Yeah.
rough. I can talk about mine really quickly. I was basically so we had 9 a.m. theory, 10 a.m. oral, and then usually I'd have another class on Monday. I'd have 3 to 4 classes on Monday. Tuesday, I usually have rehearsal and lessons. Um, Wednesday, same as Monday. Thursday, probably like a discussion section for my econ class. We'll have um, probably like my seminar,
Yeah.
and then studio class and rehearsal. Oh my gosh, I hate
Yeah.
thinking about
You
this.
had a lot of
It
stuff
was
going on,
it was
man.
terrible too because my studio this year we were really low on numbers, so a number of us in the studio had to play in 2 ensembles. So I was playing in 2 ensembles every quarter. Um, and the way that works because our top ensembles, Nuso and Sui, the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, they rehearse Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2:10 to 4:10, and then the lower groups, Chamber Orchestra, Nuko, and Sim Band, they rehearse Tuesday, Thursday, 2:10 to 4:10. So your boy was in rehearsal every day.
Yeah, every single day. I would. I don't know how you did that. That's crazy, man.
I don't either. Let's be honest. Um, yeah. What was your schedule like?
Um, so mine was a little less busy than yours, but I would have, I mean, we were in the same music theory and oral skills, and then I had chemistry, um, throughout, which was only like a lecture, so it was only like an hour. And then my first year seminar, which was writing about music. Um, and then Monday nights I'd usually have studio, which would run at 6:30 to like 8ish. I don't really remember. And then yeah, the worst day was Wednesday because I would have all those classes, but then also like a 3-hour lab.
Oh my goodness.
Um, so yeah, that kind of stunk, but um, it was really fun. It was a good time. Um, my Tuesdays and Thursdays were a little bit more chill. I just had like a chemistry class, and for fall quarter, I had keyboard skills,
Mm,
and then band.
yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Interesting question. High school band versus college band.
Um, so It's really interesting to say that because I think, in like obviously, I think intonation was a lot better in college, to say the least. But yeah, I was like really privileged to go to a high school that had like a pretty decent band program.
Hmm.
Um, and we played some hard stuff. And I guess transitioning from playing um, kind of like harder repertoire in comparison to some band
Hmm.
repertoire. Um, but the difference is that um, even though the repertoire might have been easier in sim band, we executed it like really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
um, yeah, which I found to be very valuable
Hmm.
because I was always used to just like grinding like technique and like
Mm,
these like
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
like endurance tests and everything. But in college, I kind of had more work on like intonation
hmm,
and really like being like perfect like
yeah,
while
yeah,
playing.
yeah. I will
Um,
echo that. I don't know if you know about the Texas music education, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty crazy here.
yeah.
I also went to a high school that had a pretty decent band program,
Hmm.
and we played some pretty decently difficult repertoire. But I
Hmm.
do agree that the repertoire we played in sim band was not as difficult technique wise, but I think there were some aspects of it that did require more attention.
Yeah,
I think Dr. Vondran, our conductor, um, did a really, really good job of bringing all those things out. And I would
yeah.
say, from my experience in SWE with Dr. Thompson, she's very much the same. She's just scarier. But that being said, the band directors at school, amazing. They're so good.
Yeah.
Dr. Vondran, Dr. Thompson, they know what they're doing, and they're really good at putting an ensemble together. And I've really loved playing under their batons. So I'm really excited to be able to do that again whenever we get to go back to school and
Yeah.
play together again.
Hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but one of the things that like really shocked me going into school was like just the level of playing in a
Yeah.
lower group like sim band. Um, like I don't think you would really be able to tell that sim band was the lower band,
Hmm.
which I think says a lot about sim band, but also about SWE, because that means SWE is really good too.
Yeah.
Um, but like the level of playing in our bands at Northwestern is pretty amazing in my opinion. Like
Yeah, I
it's
was
it's scary good.
yeah, man, and like we have just strong sections like everywhere,
Mhm.
like all around and like it was definitely kind of a shock when I came in and I had never heard like brass like
Mhm.
that good like
Yeah.
ever. Um and yeah, it was just really like playing in the ensembles was like such a good experience.
Mhm. Definitely. It did get kind of tedious at times. I remember many Tuesdays and Thursdays where I was like, I don't want to go to some band today. Like, why? Like, why am I in this ensemble? I don't want to do anything today.
Hmm.
But it definitely was worth it. Especially I think winter quarter, because when we did the CBDNA conference, I think that was a really cool program.
Yeah.
Um, we were so our symphonic band was invited to play at the college band national
Yeah, it stood for something.
we played at that regional conference in Chicago, and that was we kind of put together like a separate program for that, but that had some repertoire that we had played before on it earlier in the year. But it was I think it was a really cool program. And then
Yeah.
after that, we had what 6 rehearsals to put together a whole new program for another
Yeah.
concert
That
that
was
we ended up
that was
not
crazy.
being able to play because of COVID, which is
Yeah.
what I thought was really unfortunate because I like the repertoire on that concert too.
Yeah.
That was gonna be fun.
It was gonna be really fun.
Unfortunately, they canceled the morning of the concert because that was back when we were getting like hourly updates on things.
Yeah.
So
Man, that was such a hectic time.
It
Man.
really was.
And like
Because it
all
was
that
interesting
work.
too.
Yeah.
Because there was the Nuko concert was the night before, and I ushered out that
Right.
concert. But then the next morning, we got an email from Dr. Vondran and the dean that no more concerts.
Jeez.
Uh,
Yeah.
Unfortunate. But yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, we worked hard in those 6 weeks that we
hmm
had. Man.
It it was insane because if you think about it, like 6 rehearsals, that's 12 hours of rehearsal to put together a whole new program.
Oh, it was 6 rehearsals in
It was six
total?
rehearsals. It was 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought we had 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
was.
gosh.
Oh, I might be messing things up. It was six something. It was either 6 weeks
I
or six
think it's six
rehearsals.
rehearsals. I think you're right.
But it was like it was a lot.
Yeah. Oh
um,
my gosh.
but it was cool. It was fun.
I think it was cool to see that we were like capable of
Oh
like
yeah.
pulling something
Oh yeah.
together.
And I think it's really telling when your conductor has that much confidence in you. He
Yeah.
tells you that he knows it's difficult to put together a whole new program in 3 weeks,
Yeah.
but then he also knows that like when he can push us to do it, but also that too that we can do it. And I think
Yeah.
that's really valuable for us.
For sure, yeah. Just showing us that like he trusted us and everything. I think that was a big part
hmm
in like coming together.
Yeah, and we really did. Like we were ready for that.
Yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, just unfortunate that that work went down the drain, but I
Yeah.
mean, I think the experience was
Oh yeah, for sure,
valuable for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
All right, so thoughts on the quarter system?
Um, I honestly like it. Unpopular opinion, but I mean, with the core system, I just like I can take a lot of classes that I'm
hmm
interested in, and um, yeah, I mean, I kind of like the fast pace.
Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting. Um, yeah,
I don't know. What's your take on it?
there are definitely pros and cons. There are parts of it I like that I do enjoy, like being able to take many classes.
Yeah.
Um, but then like there's also the part of it where you're like basically taking a midterm every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like once midterm season hits, it doesn't end.
Yep.
Like my roommate was telling me winter quarter, he was like, "Yeah, I have a midterm starting week 3, and then at least one midterm every week after that."
Right.
And I was like, "How? One, you can't call it a midterm if it's not in the middle of the term."
Yeah.
Like my fall quarter, I took a midterm during week 9, and I was like, "That's like if we were on the semester system, I can understand having a midterm during week
Right.
nine, but no, we have 10 weeks in our term. You can't be calling a midterm during week 9. Like
Yeah.
that's not a
Technically, they're
midterm.
not midterms. They're like tri-terms.
Yeah, they're tests, they're exams.
Yeah. They're just tests.
um, yeah, that's one part I just really don't enjoy.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I really only took one class per quarter that had midterms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so that's where I think I got lucky, just based off of the classes I took.
Yeah.
But I know for some people that it's just every week gets worse.
Yeah. I mean,
Like the first couple weeks are fine, but then you hit week 3, you start taking midterms, and then from there it just goes downhill.
yeah. Um, kind of going off of that, like I didn't have like a lot of classes that had like midterms and finals and whatnot, but I know that for people who are doing like engineering and
Mm-hmm.
music, my gosh, they never get a break. But I think the one thing that I kind of appreciated was the fact that music midterms or tests were always a week before my science tests.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that was actually really nice because if they were in the same week,
Oh
I
yeah,
think I
that
would
would be
have been a
bad.
lot more overwhelmed. Yeah, but they
Yeah.
were like spaced out, which was really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, definitely
That's
thankful for that.
interesting. I did not know that,
Hmm.
and I doubt they like plan it that way.
Oh, for sure. No, it was just coincidental, but
Yeah.
for me,
But
that
no,
was
but that is
kind of
definitely
huge.
very nice. That is very
Yeah.
nice.
that was that was pretty huge. I know I'm not sure if that was the same for you. I'm sure you had some overlap somewhere,
Um,
but
I honestly don't really remember.
hmm fair,
The
fair.
the one midterm I do remember very distinctly was my second econ midterm winter
Mm,
quarter,
hmm
because that was in the middle of the opera week.
Gotcha.
Because I played, so I had to play in the opera. Um, I was assigned to play in the Nuso opera winter quarter, which meant I had an additional, after our first cycle, I had an additional like 3 or so weeks of rehearsal, to rehearse the opera music just as the orchestra. But then we had the week of performances, and we call that Tech Week because we go in and rehearse with the cast. We have four dress rehearsals with the cast, and then four performances. And these are all in a row. So we came off a Friday rehearsal with just the pit, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we had dress rehearsals. So this is basically 3 to 4 hours because you run through the whole thing. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Wait, I messed up.
That's so much.
Oh, no, we started dress rehearsals on Sunday because we had a Saturday morning rehearsal that I couldn't go to because of CBDNA.
Um,
I remember that. And then we had
Jeez,
Sunday, Monday,
man.
Tuesday, Wednesday was dress rehearsals. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were performances. And I had a midterm on that Wednesday.
Oh yeah, wait, I think I remember you talking about that.
Um, no, it was so
That
stupid.
sounds like a nightmare, man.
Um, I mean, got through it. Go watch my
Yeah.
video. It's a fun one.
Quick
But
plug.
yeah, you're just with the quarter system. I feel like you just never stop doing stuff. Like you're always going, and
Yeah,
you don't really get a break until the quarter's over.
yeah,
Like even if you have a break in the middle of the quarter, like fall quarter, we had Thanksgiving break before finals, right?
yeah.
Or no, it was
Was
Thanksgiving
it?
break, then reading week. We had
Yeah.
reading week and then
Then
finals.
reading week and then
Yeah.
finals.
Um, so like during reading week is when all the Bean and finals are, because
Right.
reading week is that one week where Weinberg suspends all classes. It's like a week off so that you can study before like exam week.
Mm-hmm.
So all the Bean and finals are during reading week, and that included for me, that included my pool auditions, my last lesson, and in the bassoon studio in our last lesson we have a scale test. And then I was playing in studio class that week, a piece that
God.
was way too hard for me, but I signed up because I knew no one else was going to sign up. So I was like, we need people to play. I'm just going to like put myself out there and try to do
Yeah.
it. So Thanksgiving break, over those, what, like 3 4 days, I was nonstop practicing and studying.
Yeah.
Like my mom and my brother, they flew in Chicago and picked me up, and then we went to my oldest brother's house in
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. And I legit spent every like moment that I was awake practicing or studying
Jeez.
because like that week hit hard.
Yeah. I just remember like around that week, I had to learn Clair de Lune in like a
Oh
week
my gosh, for
for the piano
keyboard.
class. Yeah, for keyboard.
I remember that.
And I was so busy with like labs and everything that I was just pushing it off. I was like, you know what? I like kind of know this piece. I kind of know this piece. So I kept
Yeah.
pushing it off, and then, man, that was a grind that week. That was so bad. Man,
Oh
yeah.
boy.
No, yeah. You were
No,
nonstop grinding.
we were both booking it, dude. But
But it
that's
was
the
fun. I still
dual
had a good time.
life.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you do. It is. We've been talking a lot about how it's really hard and it's difficult to manage.
yeah,
But one, it's doable.
yeah.
Um, you can see it is doable because we both survived it. We've survived 1 year of it.
We're still alive. Yeah,
Um, but two, you do like at school, regardless of if you're dual or not, you do get to meet some really cool people like David. Um,
thank you.
yeah, we like we had mentioned, we were in the same music theory and oral skills class for the whole year, and I think like music theory is where we really bonded. All those
Yeah,
group worked together. Um, No, it's just a ton of fun. There are a lot of good people here that you get to meet, even if you are like me and don't really do anything besides school.
Mm.
You do get to meet some really good people. So
Yeah, no, I definitely second that. Like, I don't know what I would have done without like the being in people in
no,
like
really, 9 a.m. theory without y'all would have been so
yeah,
dead.
it would have been horrible. Like going into winter quarter, I switched out of the oral skills section
Mm-hmm.
that we used to be in because
Yeah.
I like had to make room for a class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and man, just like the couple of days that I was in the other class, I was like, wow, like this is really different. Like the energy of these classes are completely different. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I switched back because I was like, you know what? I need y'all in the class. So
Yeah. And
yeah,
speaking of music sections and classes, um, freshman theory, take it with Dr. Pagentini.
yeah,
She is one of the most wholesome people you will ever meet. She is insanely passionate about teaching theory, especially like first year theory.
yeah,
Her class, I think, is usually at 9 a.m. But no, screw that. Take the class, because
yeah.
it
It's worth it.
she's she is a really really good teacher, and you'll have a really good time in her class. Um, so yes, freshman theory, take it with Dr. P.
Yeah,
Freshman
100%.
oral, I would say take it with Stefan, who is our teacher, but he's not teaching freshman oral anymore. So, haha,
Man,
he's teaching sophomore theory next year. So you best bet you'll find us in his class if it fits in our schedule.
yeah,
Another thing, scheduling as a dual takes so much time and energy.
it's difficult.
Once the classes for next quarter are released on Caesar, you're just like, no,
Yeah.
I spend days trying to figure out how to schedule things. This is because also like at those points you don't know what ensemble. At least I didn't know what ensemble I was gonna be playing in, or
Hmm.
which ensembles I would be playing
Right.
in. So like I'd have to make sure like every
You'd have to
day
have like a
from
bunch of
2 to 5
drafts.
I'm like
Yeah.
yeah, I need to make sure I'm free from those times.
Right.
And then if I do have a schedule, like my schedule spring quarter, I had made so that like my econ class that I was taking was during the Monday, Wednesday, Friday rehearsal times,
Hmm.
which realistically my professor could have been like, no, I need you to play an ensemble, so you have to drop the class.
Right.
Which is what happened fall quarter. I was in a class that
Yeah, I remember that.
I had to drop because I had to drop my seminar because I was put in SWE.
Oh
So
yeah, so then you were forced to do winter and spring, right?
yeah, but
Jeez.
I took a seminar winter. I did not take one spring.
Mm.
'Cause this is another topic with dual. There's a lot of like workarounds that you can do. For example, first year seminars in Weinberg, you're required as a first year to take two seminars, two of these writing based classes. And I believe it's like for your writing proficiency
Hmm.
requirement. Um, but there are other options besides seminars that can fulfill those credits. For example, I was talking to our advisor, Professor Donahue, and she was saying like if you don't want to be writing papers, because that's kind of the focus of seminars is like writing, it's
Right.
like being able to do research, writing papers. If that's not your kind of writing that you can do, or like that you like to do, or enjoy, or like even want to do, there are other options.
Mm.
So she recommended to me to take English 206, which is like a creative writing poetry class.
Cool.
And I really want to take that. I was going to take it spring quarter, or I was going to take it winter quarter. No, I was going to take it spring. I was going to take it spring.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a sophomore heavy class, and sophomores get registration before us as freshmen. So the class filled up before I was able to get in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there are other ways to fulfill these requirements. If you ever need to like just like hunker down on maybe just the Weinberg side of things or just the Beanin side of things, you can always talk to advisors and they'll make it work for you. It's a really flexible thing. Like even though you're doing a ton of requirements and it's a 5 year program, like you still have time to kind of like set something aside and then come back to it later. Like there are plenty of dual degree students in Beanin that will like defer freshman and sophomore like theory and oral until like junior, senior, even like senior and fifth year.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually had a couple people. I
Mm-hmm.
think, yeah, a couple people in our class, um, that did that.
Yeah.
Just because, if you're doing like, if you're pre-med or if you're pre-dental and you need
Mm-hmm.
to apply for medical schools and dental schools, like your junior year, like I guess some people really load up on their science courses their
Mm-hmm.
first 2 years
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get those requirements done, and then kind of delve into the music requirements. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah, which is like smart, and
Yeah.
like you still
There's
graduate on time.
exactly. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, with your scheduling over the 4 years or five. Um,
Hmm.
Also, it is possible to do the dual in four.
Yeah.
A lot of people will try to just because tuition is expensive.
Yeah.
That fifth year can really hit hard.
Hmm.
But yeah, having AP credits, I guess, I don't know what we do about IB, but AP credits transfer, and those are really helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, I would say for me, like going with AP credits, um, this might be really confusing, but basically in Weinberg, your magical number that you need to hit is 30. You have to take 30 credits. Um, I think outside of your major or something.
Right.
Um, but with the amount of AP credits I had, I got like 25 for my AP credits, which literally meant like to hit the number 30 to
Wait,
graduate, I'd only have to take 5 classes, which you could do in 1 quarter, and then just do like my major classes.
you had 25 credits
I had a lot of AP credits.
and they worked? I thought they had like a cap at what you.
No, they all count towards that number 30. It's just you get a cap for which ones you can use for your distros. You can only
Oh,
use 2 APs for
right,
your distros,
right.
which does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I was like, come on, what if I just don't want to take distros? I could use
Right,
AP
yeah,
credits, but you can only use two.
yeah.
Um, we can. Should we try and explain distros really quickly?
Man, I mean, we could. I
um,
don't know.
Distros, basically distribution requirements, or distros are classes. There's 6 different areas that they have for distros, and they're essentially just classes to get you taking courses outside of your major to make you more like a well-rounded student, so you get experience in different subjects. And
Hmm.
that's basically what distros are.
Yeah, that's like the basic summary of it. Um, yeah, no, it's just like, I guess something that's been difficult with like knowing which classes to take and everything is just that like I don't know about you, but like for me, I have like pre-dental requirements and then I have like distros to fulfill
Mm-hmm.
and then I have degree requirements. So I'm kind of like juggling like all these different requirements
Mm-hmm.
I have to meet before like pretty much junior year. Like for
Mm.
pre-dental, like I have to, by the end of junior year, I have to have everything ready so I can take the DAT or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's just like kind of like a juggling act of like which classes should I take now,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't have to be like I just have to like pace myself basically
Mm-hmm.
with which classes I
Yeah.
want to take. And yeah, I mean that's the thing that like I wish I had a better grasp of,
Mm-hmm.
like fall quarter. So that's like definitely something I would recommend like considering.
Mm-hmm.
Because at first I had um kind of emphasized like taking more music classes
Mm-hmm.
because um the typical loadout for a dual degree was mostly music classes,
Right.
especially in
Right.
fall quarter. Um, and I ended up having to overload on credits like winter and spring quarter to kind of
Mm-hmm.
like really pace myself and like catch up.
Yeah.
And though like I did it, like I wish I had kind of balanced it out more from the
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's definitely something that I'm going to be considering
Yeah. Yeah.
like
For
here
sure.
on out.
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah.
that's really valuable information, I think.
Hmm.
Also, like that being said, it's very important not to overload yourself.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
um,
yeah.
the the max number of credits you can get per quarter is 7, which is essentially, if you're a non-music student, that's basically just 7 classes. Because most of the time, unless you're a music student, your classes are 1 unit.
Hmm.
music classes are usually half a unit.
Right.
And yeah, the max you can take without having to pay extra tuition is 7. But taking 7 is a terrible idea.
It's yeah.
It's
It's
like, I know you and I were getting up to like 6, 6.5. And
hmm
even then, that's like, from personal experience, I would not want to do it again.
yeah.
But
I think like
it's
if I were to do
it's
again,
unlikely.
yeah. If I were to do again, I wouldn't want to go past 6.5. 'Cause I was like in between 6 and 6.5 for the spring, and man, it was tough.
Oh yeah,
Especially
definitely.
remote. Like
Yeah.
I had to do like a 4 hour lab like
Oh my gosh.
remotely, so I had to like teach myself. It was just
Uh-huh.
like a weird time, but um yeah, definitely don't overload on credits
Mhm.
unless like you really feel like confident and proficient in
Yeah.
your classes. So
And also, like, I think there's nothing wrong with signing up for a bunch of credits, but then having to drop later on.
right, yeah, yeah.
Our drop deadline is during week 6. Like, that's after your first midterms grades come out, too. So,
Right,
like, you
right.
have a lot of time to be able to figure out whether you think you can handle it or not. And
hmm
there's no shame in dropping.
Yeah,
There's absolutely no shame in
100%.
dropping a
Yeah.
class. Like, if you need that time for yourself, just drop. Like, that's okay.
Yeah. Um there's definitely like a pressure like you feel like when that deadline is coming and you're like, oh, like I kind of want to drop this, but maybe I shouldn't. Like maybe I should just like pull through or whatever. But really, there's like, especially with the quarter system, with the amount
Mm-hmm.
of classes you can take, like you can always just take it another time if you're not
Exactly.
comfortable with it. Um, but yeah, just make sure that like you have time to breathe and
Mm-hmm.
like take time for yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's important to be able to have time to de-stress throughout the week.
hmm
Um, and it's very hard to find that time, to be honest. At least it was for me,
Yeah.
because
I
yeah,
yeah.
when you're doing so much stuff, I don't know about you, but I always felt like I had to be like just go 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 all the time.
Yeah.
Like building my schedule was like, I think about like, oh, how much time it takes to walk from being into my room or like to the
hmm
dining hall, so I can factor in time to like eat and like getting from practice room to the read room or something.
Right.
Like there's all these little things that I had to think about that I like feel like was kind of not like pointless, but like I feel like it's not something I like should have been doing,
Mm.
but I was doing it because like I felt like I always had to be going somewhere or always had to be working on something.
Yeah. I think the thing for me was that I scheduled my classes um to like so that I would have like a music class and then like a Weinberg class and a music class and a Weinberg
Mm.
class and I wouldn't have a lot of time in between. So I found myself like biking a lot.
Mhm.
Um and especially when you're biking like back and forth like and you
Oh
have like
yeah.
10 minutes to get to each
Yeah.
class like um to me I really like that because I felt like I was just like grinding away and
Mhm.
like um I was like doing all this fun stuff. Like I really liked my classes and I had no problem with biking because, you know, the campus is small.
Mhm.
Um but definitely that's something to consider also
Mhm.
when you're scheduling like, your classes because like especially as a dual degree like um most of the music classes and science classes are probably gonna be close to each other in time.
Mhm.
Um, at least that was the case for me. So I found
Yeah.
myself going back and forth a lot. Um, but yeah, having a bike was super clutch for
Mhm.
me because I
Yeah.
would have to go back and forth like at least 4 times a day.
Yeah, because you would have classes at Tech all the time, but also like you lived up north,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's that. I mean, like living north, being a music major is tough. It's tough.
yeah. No, that was a little rough, but it's out of my control. So
Yeah, that's true. No, housing really did some people dirty.
yeah, I
um,
I I ranked every single South dorm before the Northern dorms,
Really?
and I still got a North dorm.
No, that happened to so many people. Or like, no, I got really lucky being able to live south in Allison.
Yeah, no,
Um,
that's a good location.
yeah, Allison is a really good dorm because it has a dining hall, but also like it's it's decently close to being in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, most of my classes were south, um, except for like my one econ lecture that was at Tech up north.
Mm.
For people that are listening, Tech is essentially like at a normal person's pace. I would say is like a 9 to 10 minute walk from South Campus.
Yeah.
Um, but your boy Winter Quarter had econ at Tech right before NUSA rehearsals Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's
Jeez.
like I would get out of econ at 1:50 and then have NUSA at 2:10. But I
Mm-hmm.
also like I was playing contra and bassoon for this piece,
Um,
so I'm like basically
jeez.
running to Beanin
Yeah.
and then going to the read room, getting my instrument, and then going to the locker room to get the contra, and then going to pick to set up on
Yeah.
stage or whatever. By the time I like get both instruments set up and ready to whirl, it's like 2:08, 2:09, and we're already tuning, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So like keep in mind the location of your classes when
Yeah.
you're trying to schedule,
Mm-hmm.
because it was stressful.
Especially if you're a dual degree for music
Yeah.
and some sort of STEM
You're
major.
gonna be going back and forth a lot, so
Yeah. Which might not be the case later on, like in like junior or senior year, but
hmm
um definitely consider getting like a penny
oh
board
yeah,
or a longboard or
oh
just
yeah,
a bike. Um, a lot of people have those remote control
scooters.
skateboards and
Oh
stuff.
my gosh,
Yeah. Um,
they're everywhere.
yeah,
People just
but
zooming
definitely.
by.
I always hear them like zooming by when I'm biking. It's scary.
Yeah.
Just come out of nowhere. Um, but yeah, definitely recommend getting a bike,
Yeah.
at least from my experience.
All right. We've been talking for a while. I have a couple more questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
Um, One of them was, do you feel like you had time slash energy to be able to explore different orgs or like go out and join different student groups?
Mm. Um, so kind of going off what we were talking about earlier, we're like on a constant grind and it's difficult because when we do have free time, we feel like we should be using that free time to do something else.
Mm.
Um, I did like pre-dental society and like some other like less demanding clubs.
Mhm.
Um, so in that aspect, I felt like I picked clubs that would help or would be okay like time management wise.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess in general, I do feel like I could stay inclusive with
Mhm.
extracurriculars, but um, definitely you have to choose your battles.
Yeah, that is very true. Personally, for me, I did not really find myself having time to do stuff outside of academics.
Mm,
Um, it's, for me, I'm also like very stubborn about like my music studies because my music is my priority for me.
yeah.
Like within the dual, music is my priority over econ,
Mm-hmm.
and um, it doesn't help being in an ensemble rehearsal every day, but like trying to build in time to make sure I practice enough and
Yeah.
get work in on reads because I make my own reads, um, and
Right.
eat because sometimes I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget to eat. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I usually like wouldn't start homework until like 11 or 12, um,
Yeah.
which means I stay up till like 3 or
I
4.
would definitely start later.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, no,
mhm.
it's definitely very hard. And on top of that, like if you're working a work study job or like you're
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you're working work study job, you have to factor that into things too, because there was I was I'm like part of Asian American InterVarsity, which is a Christian group, a Christian fellowship on campus. They
Hmm.
meet on Friday nights, but like I'm either performing or ushering every Friday night.
Right.
So it's like I never went to those.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, like I didn't I didn't really know like how to explore different groups or different orgs, or like I didn't go to any like student org fairs or whatever. I don't even
Hmm.
know if we have those or what they're called, but like I never really like went out to those because I was always practicing or like just being very
Yeah.
stubborn about my studies.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think it's like bad to not do like a ton of like student orgs or whatever.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
feel like we have a lot more time, and it's like never too late to join one. So
Mhm. Yeah.
like it's just like what we feel like doing,
Mhm.
and we shouldn't feel obligated to do anything that we're pressured to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
but yeah, just choosing your battles,
Mhm.
I guess, is like the theme.
Yeah. You choose where you spend your time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, no, I literally just had a question, but I forgot it. Okay, I remember now. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but
Hmm.
what would you tell incoming freshman David before he went to Northwestern?
Man,
Any advice, tips, tricks?
um, I think especially like during this pandemic and everything, I just say like I should have just lived my life to the fullest. 'Cause like
Mm-hmm.
yes, I did, and I like survived like all my classes and
Mm-hmm.
everything, but I definitely wished I had um been more social and
Mm-hmm.
done
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like activities and stuff. I mean, like, which I did throughout the year. I just feel like um, I don't have to be so academically oriented
Mm-hmm.
as a student,
Oh
and I
yeah, I
can have
definitely
time for
think that.
myself. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Um, yeah.
yeah. Like, no, I definitely very much agree with that. I think college is supposed to be a time for you to not only do academics, but figure out who you are as a person and
Yeah.
like figure out what you enjoy doing, and not only figure them out, but like actually do those things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like after high school, like I don't know about you, but high school was a grind. Like high
Yeah.
school was a huge grind for me, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to go from that grind to like an even harder grind with
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing in college. Like I want to be able to enjoy the time I have in college. Everyone tells you like college is the best 4 years of your life. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
be honest. Last year was not gonna be one of them.
Yeah.
Freshman year was just it was rough, and it's gonna be rough. But like I feel like I wasn't really giving myself the opportunities to go out and do the things that I wanted to do, like going into college.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that also stems from like the culture shock and just kind of like
Mm,
getting
yeah,
adjusted to like to the college life.
yeah.
And yeah, no, like definitely in high school, I feel like I did care about school a lot, but I did feel like I was involved in more things, like
Mm,
a lot of extracurriculars and stuff. Um, so I guess it was kind of like a weird transition going from that to kind of um being super like academically oriented.
mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, definitely take a lot of time for yourself.
Yeah.
Like make sure your mental health is
Mm-hmm.
secure. Um, and yeah, just do what makes you happy. Like
Exactly.
obviously like have goals, like meet your marks, but um yeah, just do
Yeah.
what makes you
Yeah.
happy.
I cannot stress this enough. College is a time for you, and it's a time for you to do what you enjoy. Like if you complete the dual program or just any program and like you did well, like go you, but if you didn't enjoy what you're doing, then
Yeah,
did you really like get something out of it?
right.
And I think that's a really big question to consider just in general for like when you're choosing your major or like even what college you want to go to. At Northwestern, there's a huge culture of like being involved in a lot and doing everything. Like one of our slogans is literally "and is in our DNA," and I
Yeah.
think at times that can be really toxic and feed into a really negative mentality.
Yeah.
Um, that you have to be doing all these things. Like you have to be in 3 orgs and have to be taking 6 units every quarter
Hmm.
and still be doing everything else. And I think like one, that's not true. Like that's not even possible.
Yeah.
And it's not normal for students to be doing that. And it's okay if you're not doing that. Like
Right.
that's something that it took me a while to realize that like it's okay that if I'm not doing all this stuff because I'm doing a lot of stuff.
Right. And I think that's super valuable to say because, like, especially coming from you, because you were a dual degree student playing in multiple ensembles and also having a minor. So I feel like you really kind of pushed against the grain with like what you wanted to pursue. So I think that advice, especially coming from you, is really, really valuable. So
All right, the ultimate question: do you see yourself continuing in dual degree?
yeah, that is another loaded question. Um,
Share as much as you'd like, or if you don't share if you don't want to. But
yeah, I mean, I definitely am having a difficult time kind of knowing what I want to do, especially now
mm-hmm.
with COVID and just like potentially having to do remote learning again.
Right.
And like most of the music stuff is going to be remote, like private lessons are going to be remote.
Mm-hmm.
Like, um, I definitely feel like taking time to take more science classes right now as a pre-dental student would be valuable. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to keep music and playing music in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely don't really see myself completely severing that dual degree.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in light of the pandemic, I'm gonna lighten things up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
music wise,
Mm-hmm.
for science. And I'm able to do that
Yeah.
because, you know, Dr. Jacobs is really, really understanding and really helpful. And yeah,
Yeah.
and that way I get to keep doing what I like to keep doing. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dean Jacobs is the advisor for being in students, and she is so good at helping students in general, but especially the dual degree students really figure out their schedule
yeah,
and like what they're able to do and what they're able to not do, and like she works with you to try and figure out how to help you best achieve what you want to be doing.
yeah,
And I think that's really really valuable. Everyone will tell you like if you have any question whatsoever, go talk to Dean Jacobs, and
100%. Yeah.
she will she's so helpful.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, um, I'm questioning whether I want to keep the Weinberg side of things.
Hmm.
I think with my experience as a freshman, I I think I will end up dropping the dual, but I don't think I would drop econ or another major like completely. I
Hmm.
think I might drop to a double major or just a
Right.
minor also. Just exploring other options than the dual because again, the dual is difficult. There's a reason there's so little number of students that see it through.
Right.
And there's a whole other conversation to that about like your reasons for doing dual. But
Yeah.
for me, I think I would like to focus on music more.
Hmm.
And um, again, it just kind of depends on like where you want to spend your time, what you enjoy doing, what your passions are.
Yeah,
But,
for sure.
but yeah, hey, this is cool. We talked for an hour.
Nice.
Cool. But yeah, this was a really good talk. Thanks for talking and coming on here for
Of
a while.
course.
Um, welcome to my channel.
So
um,
exciting.
yeah. Well, there were a lot of things that we covered in today's talk. There are a lot of things that we didn't cover. So,
Hmm.
if anyone has questions, just leave them in the comments below. and David and I will talk to David and see if he wants to respond to any of these. But
Yeah.
we will get some responses through. Also, highly doubt anyone's even going to be watching at this point because it's an hour into the thing. But if you are, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and we hope that this was helpful for you, whether you're thinking about applying to Northwestern or you're already, like, your mind is set on applying and you're just wondering about adding a dual degree or whatever. Yeah, we hope that we are able to give you some good information. And just one last thing. We're just students and we're not paid or anything. We haven't been trained by the university or Beaman or whatever to like do this, because it's very possible that some of the things we mentioned in this video are wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Yeah.
let's put that disclaimer out there.
Yes.
But yeah, David, any last words before we head off?
I think we covered a lot of stuff. And yeah, just don't be afraid to leave a little comment or a question, whatever. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I've been wanting to do this with you for a while, so
Yeah, I feel like this
cool that
has
we got
always
to do
been,
it.
yeah, it's always been on the lists of
Mhm.
things to do. So,
All right. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see y'all sometime soon. All right, bye.
bye, y'all.